Hey, welcome to Saturday Roundup with Maynard. You know how it is, Zimbabwe moves at the speed of light. Blink and you've missed a scandal, a press conference, or a complete U-turn, all before your morning tea has even cooled down. So let's hit the brakes, grab a seat and take a deep breath while we unpack everything that's gone down this week. Trust me, you'll want to stay for this one. It's got everything. Politics, check. Drama, check. Crime, check. And just about a sprinkle of the absurd. You know what? No. It's got a lot of the absurd. So buckle up for Saturday catch up or Saturday read up with Maynard. Starting with Chinamasa and the Cyber Police 2.0. Patrick Chinamasa. Do you remember when he got that fancy title? He was the Minister of Cybersecurity, Threat Detection and Mitigation. What a mouthful. As Zimbabweans, we just had a much simpler name for him. We just called him the Minister of WhatsApp. It was a global joke. The world, they laughed at us. Zimbabweans in general, we sighed. And now he's back at it again, this time claiming that the government has some revolutionary technology that can unmask anonymous social media accounts. I have a simpler name for that. He says they've got a tech that can find ghost accounts. Look, let's be real. This is the same government whose websites run on Gmail. Yeah, like there are government departments that use Gmail. We're talking about a big revolutionary government running on Gmail. The same people, they've been hacked repeatedly by Anonymous, who by the way didn't just expose them, but actually defaced government websites with cartoons, and on a particularly wild day, they'll throw in some explicit videos. So cybersecurity, that's a joke. Some of their websites as we speak don't even have security certificates. Others are running on shared hosting. Yeah, shared hosting. Let that sink in. Meanwhile, countries with world-class cybersecurity like the United Kingdom, the US, and even China, they still struggle to track down anonymous accounts. But ZANU-PF thinks they cracked the code. Sure, okay. And what about Geza, the rebel in camo, who reappeared this week, this time in full military gear? Let's just say he wasn't playing dress up. He looked serious and he looked upset. Since his last explosive press conference, you know, the one that got journalist Blessed Geza arrested, Geza had been keeping a low profile. The government was looking for him. There's that statement that he's wanted, but now he's back, and he's back louder than ever. And this time he's making serious waves. We're currently working on an in-depth investigation into Geza's movement, who he is, where he comes from, what exactly is he up to. But here's what we can tell you now. This guy is no joke. Even Chris Mchangwa, in a moment of surprising honesty, admitted as much. Off camera, he hesitated when asked about Geza, but he eventually said that he hesitated attacking him because they fought together in the war and he's got gravitas. I'll play the clip for you so you can just listen to yourself to what Chris Mchangwa said about Geza.
Remember, war veterans, we go a long way. We've been together for more than 40 years, 40 something years. This was a lifelong network in one. That's why I was very circumspect about Geza field to Mozambique in my camps. I have gravitas. That's why they were trying to use bombshell. Geza. They wanted him as a foil for me. Because they've been trying to win the war veterans to their side and frustrated them.
So what does the government do? Their class strategy. They call him crazy, they say he's sponsored, they insist his movement is irrelevant. But for a crazy, irrelevant, sick person, the Minister of Information certainly doesn't think so. He gave him quite a shot. He declared that law enforcement agents are on high alert. No iota of imagination will create disunity. He's a fugitive. His runs are nothing but hallucinations. Yeah, I thought you guys said this guy's a non-entity. Sounds like someone is worried. What's even funnier though is that Geza's name is now being used to justify why Christopher Mchangwa attacked Chiwenga. We reached out to people in Chiwenga's camp for comment. They didn't just decline, they ran from the conversation. They distanced themselves so fast you'd think Geza was radioactive or something. Said, nope, not our guy. He claimed this, but not our guy. But in the same vein, we do know that in meetings, there were claims that, hey, look, Mchangwa attacked Chiwenga, and Geza has now attacked ED, so all is fair and square. But if Geza isn't with them, right, if he isn't with Chiwenga, then whose guy is he? He's declared his allegiances, but in Zimbabwean politics, things change faster than a fuel price hike. So we will wait and see. He said something about March 21. That's not very far. And not to say there's another demo on March 28 by the teachers, I think. So Geza and demonstrations and potential anarchy and all this hullabaloo, we'll leave that as let's watch this space. Now, it wouldn't be Zimbabwe without a head-scratching crime story now, would it? On March 6, Detective Cassandra Hobe was shot and killed. Initially, the police said she died in a shootout with armed robbers. Then suddenly, that story changed. Turns out it was friendly fire. This is from the same police. But this last week came the real twist. Nomo Mradzikwa, a fellow cop, was arrested and charged with the murder of Cassandra Hobe. Here's the court version of events according to a report by ZimLive, and I open quote. Mradzikwa, the police officer that is, was armed with a C7 pistol when he advanced on 26-year-old Fikile Ncube in the Harbeck area. He cocked his gun, fired a shot, and hit Ncube's elbow, and the bullet ricocheted and struck Hobe in the chest, killing her. Yeah, the bullet hit somebody else and diverted and killed the police officer. That doesn't sound true. But anyway, Ncube, the alleged armed robber, was lying in a hospital under police guard before being shipped off to Kami prison. He then appeared in court. But his friends, they swear he's no criminal. They say, hey, he's just a guy who came to take care of his sick mother. And it leaves a lot of questions, doesn't it? But let's be honest, police already lied once. It wasn't a shootout, it wasn't friendly fire, something happened here. However's family have also raised suspicions, and to be fair, they have every reason to be suspicious. This whole story reeks of a cover-up, and knowing Zimbabwe's CID, they'll probably torture Ncube, the supposed armed robber, until he confesses to something he didn't do anyway. It's a tragic mess. Wicknell Chivayo, the walking, talking ATM machine. So his in-laws were the latest victim of a military-style robbery on March 18th. The thieves made off with a cool $75,000 in cash. Somebody's been arrested for it. You wanna guess? Yep, one of the 3 people arrested for it is a cop. What do we think about it? Look, let's be honest. Wicknell practically invites this kind of thing. He parades obscene amounts of cash. He throws lavish ceremonies. And generally, he acts like Zimbabwe's version of an oil tycoon. His lobola alone reported to be 300,000 in cash to begin with. That was basically a come rob me billboard. I know a couple of days later, they come out and said, look, it's actually not 300,000, but he's always advertising cash. And that's, like I said, that's a huge, like, come rob me billboard. Maybe next time Wicknell will tone it down. Thieves scroll social media too. You know that, right? And speaking of robberies and robbers, did you know Kirsty Coventry's parents were held hostage? Yeah, not in a movie sense. They were held hostage. And because of that, John and Mike Nongwe, who allegedly broke into their home and made off with 15,000 in cash, 60,000 in jewelry and some guns, They've now been caught by the police, who say they've recovered some of the loot and they've charged them. And all of this happened just as Kirsty made history, becoming the first African woman to lead the Olympic Committee. It's amazing because she's the first woman, period, to lead the Olympic Committee, and also African. But despite that big double celebration, let's be real, her time as Zimbabwe's sports minister, yeah, that's forgettable. Under her watch, Zimbabwe was banned by the ICC. Our football team, they were forced to play home games abroad because our stadiums, they don't meet FIFA or CAF standards. And even the president didn't know this until his chief secretary whispered it to him on live TV. And yet, Kirsty stayed in government the whole time. Go figure. And the less said about her time as minister, the better. So, wrapping up, that's your weekly dose of news, chaos, and political gymnastics. Thanks for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, do things, and I'll catch you next Saturday on Saturday Roundup with Maynard. I don't even know if I called the correct name to begin with. I'm battling a bit of a flu. That's my excuse. But anyway, cheers and enjoy your weekend.